What's new? What's hot? What's shot? I need more. What's new? What's hot? What's shot? I need more. What's new?
The new generation. New Generation Radio with Kendall Moore, WVON AM 1690. Let's talk about it. Come on. New Generation. Kendall Moore, Talk Radio, WVON, AM 1690. Streaming live from the web, WVON.com. Let's talk about it.
What's new? What's hot? What's shot? I need more. What's new?
This is 1690 AM WVON, and I am Kendall Moore. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, November 6th, 2020. Whew, I am exhaling right now. I'm telling you, as I continue to watch the news about Biden and him leading as the counting continues in Arizona, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia. I'm very optimistic about what the outcome is going to be. Man, I don't know. I've not been this happy, for the past 4 years, if I may say so myself.
I don't know if I'm necessarily happy about what's happening, but, it's interesting. The thing is, Joe Biden was up 264 electoral votes yesterday, and now he's down to 253, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Everyone reports something different.
Yeah, everybody's, what I'm saying, and, I'm just hoping.
Some have called Arizona, some haven't.
Right. But what's interesting is that Fox itself called Arizona. And I was watching Fox earlier today, and Fox said that they're not going to retract that. So, there are operatives on the ground that probably know more than, the network televisions are reporting right now.
Right.
And we're going to certainly unpack that and get into that, because there are a lot of individuals on pins and needles right now. Really, to be perfectly honest with you, I just have not been able to sleep well since this election, knowing what we have at stake, and we really are not in clear yet.
Right.
From what I understand, Vice President Biden, hopefully President-elect Biden, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, they are supposedly having a press conference a little bit later on here this evening. And if they do, should they do it, we will break live here at WVON and bring everyone that press conference live. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get the show started like we normally do. Robin Lewis!
Hey.
What up, Robin?
I'm elated. I already know the outcome.
You used the word elated,
I
Robin.
have foresight.
Well, you know what? When you happy, I'm happy. When you happy, we all happy around this table.
Cool.
All right.
Then be happy.
Robin, now I normally don't do this,
Go
but
ahead.
who did you vote for?
Oh, do you have to ask? Are you kidding me? I'm blue. I'm
Okay.
blue. I'm like a Smurf. I'm so blue. Yes, I voted for Biden and Harris, of course.
Robin Lewis, everybody. Robin, have a great weekend.
Peace.
All right. What's that? Will in the
What
building.
up?
All right. Netta Beretta. Brrr. Isaiah the I.
Hey, what's up?
All right. My girl Naya Fire always on deck. And, of course, Delvin on the ones and twos, making it go round and round and round. Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to tonight's program. The discussion surrounding President Trump and his exit strategy. One, it's failing miserably at this point, and we're going to unpack. We're going to talk about it later on. Well, as we continue to talk about it, I ain't going to say later on this evening. We're talking about it right now. But there's a couple of things that I want to bring up immediately. Well, no, I'll wait to the end of the show to do it. That's what I'll do.
How you gonna say that and then leave us
Yeah.
hanging for 3
No,
hours?
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't give them everything at once. Don't
is
give them
not-
everything at once.
This is not the time. This isn't the time to do it. This is
Well,
not.
let me say this.
Go ahead,
You
Will.
know, I'm pretty sure the president, Trump, I'm pretty sure he knows that he's lost, and and what he's just trying to do is, if he once it's official, he can always say they cheated me.
Well,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
been setting that up.
But
I've
I'm
been doing
just
that for
saying
months.
that gives him his personal satisfaction. He'll always sit here and say I was cheated. You know what I'm saying? And therefore it'll give him more it'll just give him more right to say that he should have still been president. For him. For him. Of course the people have spoken, and that's what's going on. People are speaking.
And here's an interesting thing about that. When we talk about the people, and we're talking about the entire United States of America, and not just those people who support Trump. I want to bring that I want that to bubble up right now, because it's an undercurrent that's currently happening in our country right now. And the press, especially Fox, they're not giving a lot of attention to it. But those Trumpites, those insane people,
Right.
they are now in front of, they have been since the election, in front of
Board
polling
of
places and
Elections.
the Board of Elections,
Yeah.
with guns. If it was black people doing that,
Yeah.
do you know
Whole
what
other
would
story.
Yeah.
his entire tenure has been nothing but overt racism that many Americans, because I'm flabbergasted about how many Americans actually voted for Trump.
Right.
Like, real talk.
Right.
From what I understand, Joe Biden has the most votes that any president has ever received. He has even usurped
yeah.
President Barack Obama.
Right.
But President Trump, he received just as not. He didn't receive as many as Biden, obviously, but
Right.
he received more than he received
In his
for
last-
the last
Yes.
one.
But-
that speaks volumes to the people that we live among. You guys.
So
Yes,
remember
it
4
does.
years ago, many of the Bernites, the Sanders
Yeah.
crew, they refused to vote, and that was part of it too. One is he didn't have the help of Russia to put out a lot of propaganda, because I remember 5 years ago, reading some of the craziest articles that I thought was unbelievable about
Right.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And now, if you notice, if you're on Facebook, any type of social media, you don't see those crazy articles anymore. So, kudos to Facebook, because they were patrolling that type of misleading information.
Twitter too.
Yeah, Twitter too.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, Bernie Sanders, all the burners, they decided to vote this time. So
Well, we
they
need to-
didn't vote 4 years ago. They were upset that guy didn't win. So now they're voting this time, and that's what you're looking at. That's what you're seeing. Unfortunately, half the country really is divided on this. But let me just say this. 12 years ago, when Barack Obama came in and people were talking about how he ignited all the racism, I mean, how can you even compare him coming in and igniting racism to what President Trump has did in the last 4 years?
And-
He's ignited racism. I mean, we were not standing outside the polls and doing all this crazy stuff and blocking the caravans, and we weren't doing that.
And following Vice President, his tour bus
Yes.
and things of that. I mean, there's so many crazy things that we can name during and leading up to
Yeah.
the tenure of President, soon to be gone,
Yeah.
Orange one.
Yeah.
Because, I still refuse to, the dude, it's crazy. I was listening to Perry earlier today. Big shout out to my girl, Perry Smalls, what we call her, y'all. And she had a really interesting guest on talking about the sensationalism of celebrities running for office. And listening to her program earlier today, it really made me realize, have we really gone down that pigeonhole with our democracy? And that really is the question that I want to pose as we get ready to go to break. Kanye West. The only thing he won was Calumet City, South Holland, and maybe Harvard. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't-
hey, Kanye running. And then,
don't make it bad for my man Riley H. Rogers out there. Mayor Rogers.
Man, listen, but I mean that's where we are. So
Right.
when we return, we'll start taking the calls. Like I said, there is a press conference that is scheduled. When it begins, we will cut away for breaking news immediately. 591-1690 is the number to connect. Everything election, everything post-Trump, everything. Do you all realize that it is very possible? Because I told y'all, Joe Biden going to die in office. He's too old. But I'm glad he's going to be the president. Yeah. That means we are going to have a black woman as president of the United States of America. It's the Kendall Moore Show. We'll be back in a moment.
It's WVON's original Friday night show, Kendall Moore. He'll be back in a moment.
Hey guys, it's Matty Matt. We're all in this together. For years, you've heard me talk about my friends at Pyramid General Construction. With social distancing in force, this is a perfect time to get work done on the outside of your home, like siding, windows, gutters, fascia, new shingles, flat roofing, wood porches, and concrete. At Pyramid General Construction, you can get the work done now. Enjoy your home now and schedule your payment 3 months later. They have motivated banks looking forward to proving your deal. This special offer is for WVON credit-approved listeners. Don't put your home on hold another day. Pick up the phone now and call Pyramid General Construction at 773-804-9999. That's 773-804-9999. Give your home curb.
You can't grow your money under your mattress, so stop it. Learn how to protect it and build wealth. Tune in Sundays to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency. I'm Betty Top.
And I'm Clyde L. Top. Our show will change your financial future and legacy.
We talk about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance.
And we'll take questions. Call us, mention WVON, and get a free financial consultation. 773-881-8110.
Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
This traffic report is brought to you by Staples Stores. Staples helps you ship holiday gifts and packages with care this season. Right now, get 30% off on select shipping supplies and 25% off UPS expedited shipping services. Offer ends 1/2/21 while supplies last. See store for details. Save big at Staples.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Looking good on the outbound side of the Rhine. Same for the inbound side. No delays reported on Tuskegee Airmen. Moving really well both directions on the Bishop Ford. Now the Stevenson, you stop and go going outbound. Ashland to Pulaski, half an hour to the Tri-State. Half an hour also on the inbound side, Tri-State to Central State coming in. On the Ike, it's a slow go. Holman to Des Plaines, 25 minutes. Old Post Office to Manheim. And on the inbound side at Cicero, you have heavy police activity blocking the right lane. State police are investigating an earlier incident where a semi lost a tire and struck a pedestrian waiting on a CTA Blue Line train at Cicero. The stop there. Pedestrian was taken to the hospital, of course. Otherwise, you're tight coming in from north to the Tri-State and Ashland to the Burn interchange. On the inbound side, about a 45-minute ride in from Manheim. Kennedy, it's tight there from Irving Park all the way to Canfield going out and then coming back in Montrose to the Burn interchange. No issues on the Eatons Lakeshore Drive to slow south from Oak Street Curve to Chicago Avenue. Temps down to 51 tonight, back up to 72 under sunny skies on Saturday. 70 right now. That's what's happening in traffic and weather. I'm Robin Lewis on 1690 WVON.
Getting you from your work week to your weekend. It's Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation.
Sometimes she's not all she seems.
All right, welcome back. 22 minutes after the hour. Will, the United States of America, the election board, and everybody else, what are they doing? Going back and forth, and forth, back and forth, and forth.
No
Exactly
cup,
what's
no
that.
cup.
Like,
Shout
come
out to
on,
Larry Black.
Let's get it together. We all want to celebrate. Can we celebrate this weekend? Are they going to make us wait until
No,
the
I
next
think this is
week?
gonna go out. I think this is gonna play out for
Has
a
this
while.
happened before? I can't remember in my lifetime.
Well, with the Al
The-
Gore,
Al Gore
Bush.
and
How long
George
did that
W.
take?
34 days.
Yeah, so
34?
it went over a month. It went over a month.
And
Yep.
then the Supreme Court finally came in. And you know what's interesting about that whole process was that they stopped it because I don't think a lot of people know this, and Will correct me if I'm wrong, is that what Al Gore was doing, he wanted the recount, but he really basically was asking for those areas that were heavily Democrat. He didn't want the other counts counted.
Right.
So that's why the Supreme Court said, no, we're not going to let you do that. So they
Yeah.
stopped it. But a lot of people don't know that backstory.
Right.
Trump, on the other hand, what he's doing, how are you, first of all, his followers are absolutely bananas and they're crazy and they are fanatics. I am so glad that, and I say that.
There's just good people on both sides.
Yeah, you know what? And especially the evangelical Christians. Like, I've been watching and listening, and I'm like,
That's
the
bizarre.
Some are out there
evangelical,
just-
how in the, these are the same people who beat us with Bibles over the head, right? And made us slaves.
Okay.
And then Nat Turner came about, learned how to read, and then went up and killed everybody. So here's the thing, though. I'm getting all the way off. I'm getting
All
off
right, all right.
the evangelical. They roll with this man, and they justified him being a racist, him being a chauvinist, him being disrespectful to women. And here's the point that I am making. The man is absolutely crazy. So now he wants to go. Why are you telling your followers to tell people to stop counting the vote, stop counting the absentee ballots? When they really, if you stop right now, Joe Biden would win.
Right.
Right.
So why would you stop now? And as they continue to count, his stuff continues to rise. It doesn't make sense. So do you want us to stop, or do you want us
It's
to
mixed
continue?
messages on both sides.
And then now you're trying to get people to go to court. You got lawyers going to court to sue for what? And there's no principle. There's no standards. There's no cases. So he went out to Philadelphia yesterday. His lawyers did go in front of a judge. The judge literally says, "Republican lawyers, show me your proof. What are you asking of me?"
Right.
Well, we want to say that there's no representation from the Republican side watching these ballots being counted. So the judge, and I'm just paraphrasing this,
Right.
the judge says, "Well, okay, can you honestly tell me that there are no Republicans in here?" And guess what? I'm trying to
Right.
to say this right. One of the Republican lawyers said, "I can tell you with certainty that there are zero people, Republicans watching this." Like, it's something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Meaning they're like such spin doctors. Basically what he was
Right,
saying
right.
is, yeah, there are Republican representatives, and it's just like, boom,
Yeah.
case dismissed. Get out of my courtroom.
Yeah.
And now that they're trying, I don't know what happened out in Nevada earlier today, because they were going to Nevada to do the
Right.
same thing. And then supposedly there's going to be an automatic recount out in Georgia because of the numbers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took Georgia, but now they want to recount it.
It's like a
Georgia.
1,000 vote margin, so
Yeah.
less than
So-
less than 0.5%. So they automatic recount.
So let me backtrack a little bit to what you said about the evangelicals. The evangelicals, anybody in church, a sinner walks into church. What's the first thing church is designed to do, and the church tries to do? They try to save you. You need to get saved. You've
I
been
watched
sinning,
Fox News today.
You've been doing all of this. So
they had evangelicals running commercials on Fox News.
right. So here's
Saying
the
that
thing.
on the commercial, they said, "We could save you." All right. They said, "Listen, during this commercial break,
Right.
all I want you to do is say that you confess your sins and that you believe in Jesus and all of the bad things that you have done.
Yeah.
You will be saved." I said, "Well, damn." During the commercial, now you can be saved. You've been a racist. You
Right.
done locked people up. You done shot black people and killed them for no reason. You done stole people's land. Every day it's institutional racism and all of this. And all you got to do is say during the commercial break,
Right.
I believe in Jesus, and you know what I did wrong.
Right. So
Damn it.
you to my point, what you just said
Go
is
ahead.
what the evangelicals actually tried to do with Trump. Because see, even though they didn't necessarily support Trump his character, they supported the Republican Party. They support the party. They don't necessarily support the person in there. And what they were trying to do as evangelicals is reform him so that he would be an upstanding citizen. That's really what they were trying to do.
Never denounced his behavior either.
No, they haven't, because that's what they're trying. No, and as illogical as it sounds, that's why they grasp onto him. That's why they. I'm telling you, that's why they grasp on, because they believe he can be changed. That's why you got Paula White
Anybody
up
can
there.
change.
She believes he can be saved and he can be
Mike
redeemed.
Pence was the vice president? Because him and Mother, they were super evangelicals.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
They was there to watch.
You know what? I can't.
They was there to watch him, and they couldn't do
Trump
nothing
is on
with
his
him.
way out of the White House, so I'm just.
Hey, I'm not saying. Look, I'm not against you. I'm with you. Pull him out. It's time to go. But what I'm saying is that's his role that they were trying to play with him. They knew he was not a good person. Let me just say that he needed some work.
Trump again,
and they couldn't. They worked with him for 4 years.
He's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I've always considered him that. He is an atheist. The man does not believe in any form of divinity.
Right.
And then it's just so much.
But that doesn't stop. That doesn't mean you don't try. Because how many times has a Jehovah's Witness walked up to your door, the same one every Saturday, and you done told them, "Look, man, don't come back." They keep coming back. How many times has a Mormon stopped you when they was riding their bike through your neighborhood and come, "Hey, do you know that your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" And you look, man, you just talked to me the other day. No, see, so they kept. That's the thing. You don't give up. So they knew they was trying to reform him.
But who's going to reform them?
And here's my question.
That's a good question, Netta.
My Bishop Don
Magic
Wand, that's my authority. So I'm gonna have to check in, Robin, with my Bishop Don Magic Wand.
West Side.
And figure, listen, we got to take a break. We going to Robin for traffic and weather and the news. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Kendall Moore Show.
It's 70 degrees. I'm Robin Lewis. Here's what's happening in your news. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden plans to address the nation in primetime tonight. The former vice president is on the verge of earning enough electoral college votes to become the nation's 46th president. Biden plans to speak with vice presidential choice California Senator Kamala Harris at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central. With new COVID-19 infections spiking in the state, Governor J.B. Pritzker says more restrictions may be in store for Illinois. He isn't saying yet what those restrictions might be, but warns they are coming if the virus continues to spread. Pritzker added the public must do their part in wearing a mask and avoiding parties and gatherings. He added restaurant and bars need to follow the rules as well as not offer indoor service. There are a record number of new COVID-19 cases for a second day in a row. Illinois health officials say there were 10,376 new cases today, breaking yesterday's record of 9,935 cases. The state has also been averaging more than 7,900 new cases each day for the past week. Altogether in Illinois, there have been a total of 465,540 cases of COVID-19. Officials also report today 49 additional deaths due to the virus. This brings the total number of lives lost in Illinois to 10,079 since the start of the pandemic. Hospitalizations also continue to rise. As of last night, there were 4,090 patients in the hospital. It's been since May that the number of people hospitalized has been that high. There were 98,401 tests run in the last 24 hours, which is also a record. The test positivity rate is at a 7-day average of 11.1%, up from yesterday's 9.6%. Chicago is also experiencing a record-breaking surge in COVID-19 cases. City Public Health Commissioner Dr. Allison Arworthy says cases are rising worse than in the spring, with no signs of slowing down.
There is not a single person in Chicago who is not at some level of increased risk from COVID, because our outbreak is surging in ways we have never before seen.
Currently, the city is averaging 1,400 confirmed cases over a 7-day period. Chicago's positivity rate is roughly 11%. Arworthy also warns against traveling during the Thanksgiving holiday. 31 states and Puerto Rico are on the travel ban list. The Christmas tree lighting ceremony this year in Chicago will be going virtual due to the pandemic. The 30-minute event will be accessed for the first time on the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events YouTube channel at 6:30 p.m. November 19th. The next day, groups of 10 or fewer who practice social distancing and wear masks can visit the tree near Washington and Michigan in downtown Chicago. This year's tree is a 45-foot blue spruce donated by the family of Catherine Townsend from the city's Southside Morgan Park neighborhood. Two summer staples in this city are on the chopping block next year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mayor Lightfoot's proposed 2021 budget includes no funds for the Taste of Chicago or the Chicago Air and Water Show. Cultural Affairs and Special Events Commissioner Mark Kelly says both events haven't been canceled, but the city doesn't have the funds at this time. The Taste and Air Show were both canceled this year. Lightfoot said with the current surge in coronavirus cases in the city, now is not the time to think about large outdoor events. And LeBron James is going public and pleading for help to find the person who killed an Akron woman. The victim was the sister of Cleveland Cavaliers director of scouting, Brandon Weems, a friend of James. She was found shot dead in her home this week. On Wednesday, LeBron tweeted, in part, "My city, I need y'all to go to work and find out who did this awful, shameful, disgusting thing to such a caring, loving angel. Hashtag justice for Erica Weems. Anyone with information on the crime is asked to call authorities." I'm Robin Lewis on 1690 WVON, and that's what's happening in your news.
Chicago is home to one of the largest populations of Black Americans, and WVON is committed to keeping it that way. That's why we're joining forces with My Block, My Hood, My City, and reimagining Chicago. And we're looking for leaders who are all in. If you're interested in establishing a block club for you and your neighbors, join us for our virtual crash course on block club organizing, Saturday, November 21st at 11 a.m. Great block club organizations create safe spaces, protect property values, reduce crime, and lead to better neighborhoods. Research shows that 70% of WVON's audience are homeowners, so we know you're out there. Get all the information you need to create or reestablish your block club. To register, go to Eventbrite and type in WVON Block Club. Spread the word. Saturday, November 21st, our virtual workshop on block club organizing begins at 11 a.m. My Block, My Hood, My City is committed to helping rebuild Chicago one block at a time, and we're happy to help them. We're your
Is that you are hearing coming back and forth. Win, 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 win. We winning this. We are. I've been very open about the candidate that I have been supporting for forever, and I am very confident that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be successful during this run. Before we turn the page, though, but that's why you're hearing this type of music, like back and forth and forth. We're just trying to get everybody in the mindset of where we are right there. Big shout to Delvin, the musical conductor doing his thing. I got to send a big shout to a person who I respect tremendously, Kim Fox. She won.
Yep. Right. Congratulations.
And you know what? I got to clap it up for Kim Fox because she did the damn thing. I was so happy when she won, and Cantazara. Am I pronouncing this?
Cantazara, the Fraternal Order of Police.
The Fraternal Order of Police. The one who said, who told Kim and said that he didn't have the vote of no confidence for the sister. Drug her. No, they did.
Was that him? That was the other guy who he beat, and I can't think his name right now. But
that was all of them.
Yeah,
all of those Klansmen who shoot our young black boys in their back, upset because Sister Kim does not let the police just come and dump them boys at Cook County Jail, and they don't have enough evidence. They just Alvarez, Anita just used to lock them up.
Yep.
Lock them up. Once they locked up for so many days, that's a check that goes to the county.
Yep.
Ask Sheriff Tom Dark. Kim Fox came in and shut it all down, and she was so elegant in her speech when she did win, and was so humble. I loved it. Me and my brother, we're from Cabrini Green. You can't imagine. Didn't nobody imagine that they could even make it. She represents everything about what we are as a people, and she beat the machine. Even though she's coming out of Preckwinkle's camp, I ain't got no problem with that. She beat the Fraternal Order of Police Officers. And I am so very proud of her. Big shout to Kim Foxx. It ain't no switch that comes on and off. I've been saying this all along, and I have been humbly imploring people to make sure that they voted for their sister.
Right.
Let me tell you something. This is a microcosm that is happening here in the city of Chicago. It really is. If you were to take the city of Chicago and expand it over the entire United States of America, when we look at the exit polls, and some of them have already been released, but they're going to come out slowly as all of the votes are actually counted, you are going to see representative of what we are seeing in America with these close races. There, half of Illinois, half of Chicago. I'm going to use Illinois first, and then I'm going to use half of Chicago. Have voted for Trump, have voted for Biden. Same thing here in the city of Chicago. Many of them were up north. These are the people that we used to talk about on this show during this whole process. You got people who you work with who will smile in your face, but when they get in that voting booth, they are going to punch what they want to do. There'll be people out in the streets protesting with you, telling you that Black Lives Matter. But when they went in that voting booth, guess who they voted for?
Yeah.
And so it really is. This is a simple microcosm of what we have to deal with here in America. So again, big shout to State's Attorney Kim Foxx. And I hope and I pray that we continue to protect her and that we continue to protect Mayor Lori Lightfoot, because they're coming for her next. And I don't even have time to get into that conversation because the Latinos showed out down in Florida. And they showed their naked hand, which we already knew.
Right.
And they have voted overwhelmingly. The Cubans, the Latinx, and it's a few that's sprinkled in there. And I'm not talking about a specific culture. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The Latinos, those who, they want to be white, and they align themselves with white people. And guess who they voted for? Look at the exit polls.
Yeah.
They voted for Trump.
Well, remember that Marco Rubio is the senator down there. Of course, he's of Cuban descent, and he's ran for president before, and he didn't do very well. And he might be looking at it to do it again in another 4 years. So that's really at play right there. And of course, we know that Florida has always been a red state, one of the hardest states to crack.
Well, recently, Will, from what correct me if I'm wrong, because again, you are my person who my go-to. It really just started being that way. We can almost now count on Florida being a red state.
Right.
It wasn't, maybe it was 4 presidencies ago that Florida has always been a state of it was purple. Like we don't know which way it would flow, but now, with the Latinx population down there in Florida, and in other spaces as well.
Yeah.
Trump. So let me get back to the point before I move on to the next point. So I bring that up because here in the city of Chicago, and the reason I bring up Mayor Lori Lightfoot is because they're going to run a Latino candidate against Lori Lightfoot. And you are hearing it here on my show here tonight. No, they're building a coalition right now. I've been just checking things out. I've been hearing about these black and brown coalitions and all. Please quit playing. Do you really? And I got a lot of Latino friends. Don't get me wrong. I respect your political view, but when I say I respect your political view, I also know what Chuy Garcia. Quit playing with me. Like y'all, quit playing. Who gives her the most snuff when it comes to the city council? The little young boy over there, the little young
Lopez,
alderman, whatever his name is. This is it's orchestrated, and we really need to pay attention to what we are doing and what our next move is. To me, humbly, and I will submit this, and then I'll take calls. We play checkers. Black people do. We don't know how to play chess. And the reason that I say that is because at the end of the day, after they finish playing with us, we're going to win the presidency. And then many of us, at least those of us who participated in the political process, we're going to sit back but we shouldn't be sitting back.
Right. Not at all.
Because when it comes to the Senate and when it comes to the House of Representatives, we lost seats in the House.
Right. Lost seats in the
And
House.
those are the people who move legislation along.
That's where the money comes from.
When Joe and Kamala comes into office, they're going to have the darndest time. Let me bring this up. Your second stimulus check.
Yep.
I'm going to promise you this. Shit, where you gonna get that now?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, you definitely ain't gonna get it.
Where are you gonna get
You're not
that
gonna
now?
get it. You're not gonna
When
get
you
it
get
if
that
Trump
second
if Trump wins.
stimulus
You're not
check?
gonna get it if you win, because one of the worst things he has done to the American people, aside from this coronavirus, not being irresponsible, is withholding funds from them. You should have received a stimulus check every 2 weeks. If not every month. He held it over, he's holding it over your head like, unless you vote for me,
Right.
I won't give you a stimulus check. And you're not guaranteed to give him a stimulus. He's not guaranteed to give you one. So here's the thing. For some of y'all that voted for him, I don't know why you did that, because you might have just starved yourselves to death. You did. There's no guarantee.
Will, and so you bring up another question that I think that we probably, if this press conference doesn't start the next hour.
Let me say this too.
Please.
The Democrats, I know, and I'm going to use this, the Democrats are known for throwing away money, so people say, but they're your best shot at getting a stimulus check and continually getting one until this coronavirus, this COVID-19 disaster blows over. So, that's all I got to say right now. So,
You sure? I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all you got?
No,
Okay.
I got a little bit more, but go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No. If you got more, go ahead.
I
Here's the thing about the Democrats, though, Will.
Right.
When it comes to black men comprehensively in this country, the ADOS, the African descendants of slaves, I have to be honest with you, I'm a little bit perturbed with those brothers and with the brothers who don't participate in the selection process. Because black men, 30%, voted for Trump.
Yeah.
This was the wrong time for black men to say, I'm going to take a stand. You should have took a stand against President Barack Obama.
Right.
You should have took a stand against Bill Clinton with the crime bill that he did.
Right.
All of a sudden, you woke now, and in the most critical time in history, we got black men. And I'm telling you, I am disappointed who did not vote because we want ours. We do want ours. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. This wasn't the time to sit on the sideline and ask for what you wanted. Not doing it. Why haven't you been asking for that forever? Or did you take this opportunity to make a complete fool of us? Because if we were back under the thumb of President Trump, because I'm claiming it right now, we would be in some trouble. And how are people latching on saying that this man has done more for black people than President Obama, or for this, that, and the third? Who literally can run down legislation, et cetera, to say that Trump has done more? Even with the crime bill, even with the 3 strikes you out with President Bill Clinton, it was not about the lesser of two evils. This election for black men, for me, should have been, I'm going to be responsible enough for my community, so I'm going to make this vote, and then everything that I'm asking for and that I'm talking about, I'm going to talk to Joe Biden, because he's going to listen to me and not use me as a pawn.
Right.
Okay, so this is what.
All right, I got to take a break.
Yeah.
Kelvin, you know what? You're telling me to shut up. I'm going to shut up. We'll be back in a moment. That's right. The big payback. We here, baby. Cantazara. Lori Lightfoot, and she's still trying to negotiate with them, with the police union, and trying to get everything right. It's the big payback. It's our turn. Everybody was expecting this big blue wall and this big blue wave, and again, politics. There are going to be casualties. Will, going back to your point that you mentioned about Democrats, I really think that this really has been a come to Jesus moment for a lot of people, which is why many black men. We don't have an outlet, because we have always been taken advantage of. The Democrats for the past 40 years, once we got the civil rights bill passed, everybody got put into all of these offices. A couple years ago, we've had the most black representatives and senators in United States history, and we've done nothing with that power. Absolutely nothing. Even here in the state of Illinois, you know, we got the top. We got Kwame, we got Kim, we got Lori, we got Tony, we got Danny, we got Bobby. We can keep going on and on. Where you keep smiling, you know, Bobby. Come on, man, Bobby's the man. Of course, and we got all of these aldermen and all of these, you know, water reclamation and all of this. We got these commissioners. But again, we've done nothing with it. And black men are always at the end of the totem pole with it. So I get why they would be upset, but I don't get why they would sit on the sideline. Do we, if we're going to sacrifice, we probably should sacrifice for the totality when these kids are out here being shot and killed. When mothers are out here and they can't eat or feed their children. If you are unemployed, you probably should be sitting there babysitting your child instead of smoking weed, playing Xbox 5 or Nintendo, you know, whatever 5, with your pants hanging off your butt, and you trying to become a rapper. Right. You know, you trying to become a rapper. You dropped out of school. You can't count, and all you can
but
do
you
is
got
smoke,
bars,
and
man.
can't-
You got bars,
come
though,
on.
man.
So I don't get this. And then the men who are above that age, 1 in 3 who have been prison, probation, or parole, what are we doing? Again, when I talk about that, Will, and then I'm gonna turn it back over to you. You know, those of us who have gone on to get a college degree or some type of semblance of relevancy in this world, we get looked at like we done something wrong.
Right.
Don't get mad at me because I know how to count and I know how to read, and I know I want to take care of my family. Right. You want to get mad at me because of that? And I'm talking about another black brother. I don't know how many times on Facebook, I got a lot of Facebook friends who it's a state representative, it's a city council person, it's Mark Wallace getting stuck up and robbed of their cars with a gun stuck in their face from another black guy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is what I'm saying. The quandary that exists with black men, we have always been taken advantage of, and I get it.
Right.
We want to matter.
Right.
We are the descendants of slaves. This wasn't the time to show that because it was too much at stake. And the bags that were given out, and big shout to the preachers. You know, we gonna hang out this Saturday. Yeah, I'm drinking. You drinking? I'm drinking. You know, you got it. I'm rolling with you. Nah, I'm messing with y'all.
Okay.
But nonetheless, though, those preachers got the bags. You know, there was preachers on J.B. Pritzker's side when it came to say yes on doing, you know, raising the fair tax thing.
Right.
And then the billionaires had their thing going.
Right.
And speaking of which, and I know I'm talking, and I'm gonna continue to talk. Madigan on his way out of there, and now you have the people who have supported Madigan. And for the life of me, I don't understand why the Sun-Times and the Tribune, they do all of these stories about Michael Madigan, but they never show everybody who's black who's connected to that money. And I've always told people, go see who's funding these campaigns, and you will see who's running your community.
Right.
The West Side of Chicago, forever and forever, has looked like the West Side of Chicago when I lived over there. Dilapidated. There are no businesses. Tops and bottoms was the top making money.
It's bottoms and tops.
All of that. All of that. So the top making money. That and the liquor store. What's the liquor store on
Finest?
No, it got closed down.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't
Well,
think
you
of
ain't
the name
gonna
right now.
you ain't gonna engage me in this conversation.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. No, I agree with what you're saying. I'm not trying to interrupt your dissertation, sir. I'm listening, and I am agreeing with you. I am agreeing. I can't help but to agree with you. I drive past what you talk about every day.
Every day for the past, and I'm in my mid 40s. Just had my birthday.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations, happy birthday.
Happy birthday on that. But so when it comes to that, like black men, we didn't show up at the polls the way that our sisters did, but yet and still, we still gonna cry, and we still gonna say that we being taken advantage of.
But here's the thing with that, Kendall. I think 10% of black men voted for Donald Trump in 2016, and this time 18% of black men. To me, I'm looking at it more as a protest vote. everything you just said is correct, and I think that's why what you just said is why they voted for Donald Trump. It's a protest vote. We're looking at it as you stupid black men, y'all such and such, but realistically, these are black men that have not been fairly given a shot in life, or they've been incarcerated and nobody will hire them, or they will not get any economic opportunity. Look, we black men, we talking, right? I done worked in corporate America. It's things in corporate America, you know, it's levels where when it comes down to black men, to black people, period, a black woman, when it's time to get promoted, they don't think about you. Or if you do look like you're going to get promoted, they try to get you out of there. You know, what was the young lady from Nielsen last week? She comes on talking from Nielsen. Her story is my story, but I'll say this for another time. So I understand, going back to what you just said, I understand everything you just said. But look at that 18% black men who voted for Donald Trump has a protest vote. Okay,
so I know we got to.
They protested not being
because if you
being ignored.
If you look at he's been so. Trump
and he
is
gave
the
them some attention, no matter how bad he is. He gave them some attention. He acknowledged them. He mentioned them. And when he argued with Joe Biden that night, that's why he got that 18%.
I promise you, we got to take a break now because we'll come back to you as soon as we return. But I want to leave with this, and I want to say this. If there was a slave master in the slave quarters, at what point does the black man who's been raped and vilified and all this other time, at what time does he turn into Nat Turner? It's the Kendall Moore Show. 11 minutes after the hour, it's the Kendall Moore Show. Listen, everybody, if you're looking for an affordable and friendly place for your health, make sure that you visit Beloved Community Family Wellness Center. The Beloved Community Family Wellness Center, it offers health care services for infants, adolescents, women, health, and senior citizens, regardless of your financial status. Medical insurance is accepted, and the center also offers payments on a discount payment plan. You can visit one of their 2 locations. One is located in Inglewood, 68th and Halstead, or in Robbins at 139th and Kedzie. For more information, go to the Beloved Community Family Wellness Center, and the website is bcfwc.org. Again, that's the Beloved Community Family Wellness Center. The website is bcfwc.org. All right, so in addition to that, WVON, we're partnering with the My Block, My Hood, My City. It's an initiative to rebuild our communities. Saturday, November 21st, it's going to be a virtual workshop on block club organizing. Everything that you need to know to create or reestablish a block club for you and your neighbors. You guys remember block clubs? Block clubs I grew up on a block club, like real talk. So this is an excellent thing. I want to make sure that everybody is aware of it. Go to Eventbrite and search WVON Block Club. The virtual workshop on block club organizing. It's going to begin at 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 21st. All right, what's that, Will? What up? Now the Beretta.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah the I.
Yes.
All right, we here. We got people on the phone line. Let's get to some of these callers. We've been talking about a whole lot. Let's go to Brother Eddie. Brother Eddie, how you doing? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Brother Kendall, Brother Will, and sister. I'm so sorry I don't remember your name, but congrats to all of y'all and happy Friday.
Oh, thank you, Brother Ed. Eddie?
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
And Kendall, real talk, I respect your opinion always and love you like a brother, but I just don't fully agree with your politics. And I think that's cool, as long as we can always agree to disagree.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I respect that too, Eddie. I know I'm not. I know I'm not always right, and some people I talk to are not always right, and that's why I think that's what makes it a good thing. But go ahead, Eddie. I know you got some good stuff to say.
Yes, sir. Now get your boxing gloves on.
All right.
Hey, Will, ring the bell. Will, go ahead, ring the bell.
Ding! Go get him, Eddie.
Oh, all right.
Eye of the tiger.
Come on, Eddie. Come on with it.
Check it out. Now, here's the deal, man. Like I say, I didn't vote for Joe, and I didn't vote for Donald. But what I don't understand is, first of all, when we're talking about, I did vote for Kim Foxx, so I'm very happy about that, like you. But what I find missing from this conversation is bothering me, and not just this one, but all Chicago black conversations when it comes to politics. How did we not vote for Willie Wilson? I mean, this brother has come out of his pocket He has given over, 30,000 or 50,000 masks. This is cash in black communities' hand, mask on black folks' face, and we voted for this white boy over him? I don't get that, brother. To me, that's like absolutely asinine.
Hey, Eddie, you know what, Eddie? You bring up a very good point, and that's something that I really didn't even have on my calendar to have a discussion about tonight. But I did mention this, however, that there was some wins and losses in our community. And I think you have some substance there, Eddie, when you say that.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I hate to say it, brother. That is self-hatred. Because Willie, I mean, and it's not. I'm not just pulling this out of my hat, but I've heard very many of us say we're not voting for him because of the way he talked. Well, guess what?
That's crazy.
Apparently, the Asians understand what he's saying because that's how he became a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We have self-hatred. Now, you said something else, my brother, that I don't understand.
Okay.
You said that if now is not the time for brothers to rise up. The time was during the Obama administration.
Or before. I'm not saying like not right. Like we definitely should be doing what we need to be doing. I'm talking about being absent on this vote for this election. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but all I can say is, but it was a lot of the two prominent brothers that tried to sound the alarm on what Obama was really on was Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornel West. And the black community damn near burned both of them at the stake. You see what I'm saying? So so like I said, I can't see, and this is the thing, and you're not doing this, but I'm like Will, you painted you kind of gave the demographic of the brother that voted for Donald Trump, and I will tell you this, like I said, I did not vote for him, but I've made way north of $400,000 a year as an EVP in corporate America before I opened my own company. I have black friends. We're all married to black women, and all of us are doing well. Never seen the inside of a jail or the inside of a crack bag.
Yep.
You understand? But for us, the tangible damage that Joe Biden did with the no crime bill for us was unforgivable because he has damaged our people, and him simply apologizing to us is not enough. The Democrats could have picked other candidates who didn't have that carnage, but they chose not to.
They didn't have a strong enough. They did not have a strong enough candidate, Eddie, in my opinion. And again, I respect yours. The Democrats did not have a strong enough candidate in-house to run anybody. Bernie had burned out. A lot of us, and I'm being honest with you, the younger generation of blacks was rocking with Bernie, but the older machine was not. We didn't have a strong enough candidate for the formidable Trump, which is why he ended up on the ticket, or we was going to end up with the same person back in office right now. I think that is what that issue was.
Well, let me submit this, and I'm going to let you move on.
Okay.
With all due respect, if you recall, Joe Biden was losing the primary until Clyburn told them Negroes in South Carolina, Joe knows us, we know Joe. And then, so he got him back in the game, and then Barack Obama, the same guy that told us to vote for Rahm Emanuel and also to not vote for Willie Wilson but vote for Dick Durbin, brought it home for him. So see, man, to me, it feels good. I get it. It feels good to be Democrat and to have people who claim that they really care about your plight. But the reality of it is they never deliver for us, especially when you consider the percentage of allegiance that we give that party. And I just can't do it, brother. That's all I'm saying. But I love you, man.
Man, I love you back, Eddie. And I agree with you 100%. And Eddie, actually, we're not saying much different, to be perfectly honest with you. We just got different views on it. And by the way, I'm an independent. I've been an independent for like the past 20 years. So I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. And I vote for what my beliefs are. So I get that. And I think that everyone has the right to do so. What I'm explaining is that this election right here was so detriment on so many different levels to black people that the brothers really should have said, I think, and again, people have different opinions, should have said, you know what, let's get them in and then let's work with him and let's hold him accountable, because we got to do that anyway, because now he's in. But it really would have been, we would have been hoodwinked by Trump the way that we have always been hoodwinked. Trump gave bags to a few people.
Right.
He even spread some of that money out here in the city of Chicago. And I ain't even going to get on the people and they pulpits and all of this. I'm really not. Because a lot of people are just not well versed when it comes to dirty politics and how
The
the
process.
city. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
But, and it was just going to be more of the same. I think with Joe, honestly, I really think, and again, I will submit this, when it comes to Kamala, we have the opportunity now. First of all, we are going to have the first sister, as, first of all, the first female. I ain't going to even put
First
black.
female vice president.
First female president of the United States of America. That's huge.
Yes.
It's huge. And
Well,
I remember when me and you were debating, Will.
Let me suggest this one step at a time. Okay, let's not throw out there all at once.
Okay.
She's going to be the first female vice president, and she's a black woman.
And she's a black
hopefully we can get her to the top, and she will be the first female president, black president.
I bet you everybody and their mama.
Yeah.
All you got to do is keep listening to VON. When they
Right.
get sworn in, how
Right.
many people call and start talking about her? We implode as a people.
Right.
I mean, enormously.
Yeah.
When we voted in the first black president, everybody and their mama talked about Obama, said he didn't do enough for
But
us.
they did that already.
They did. They started doing that after the first.
Yeah, and
They
now-
started. They was
and
doing
now
that after.
Kamala is going to be the punching bag because she's black and she's a sister, not realizing that she's the first woman, number one, and she just happens to be black. Those are the conversations.
Yeah, she's the first woman, exactly.
She's the first woman
Yes,
ever.
woman and black. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be celebrating
Yeah.
that sister, but it goes back to the brother conversation.
Right.
And so he was talking about Willie Wilson.
Right.
Hell, when they were showing the stats on television on election night, they didn't even put the man's picture up on the damn board.
Right.
They didn't even
Right.
put his face up there.
Right.
They put Durbin and the other guy who was running, and then they never
the
had
Republican, the GOP
they
guy.
never put Willie up there. There is something to say, and I said this earlier, and I wish people would listen to me sometime. Chicago itself is exactly like America. If you took Chicago and spread it across Illinois and then spread it across the United States of America, that's who we are. Black people, we don't support one another enough. We are broken off into factions. You come out of this camp. You come out of Lori Lightfoot's camp.
Right.
You come out of Tony Preckwinkle's camp. You come out of this. You got to, and then you have to go through this whole process and show your loyalty to all of these people. It's crazy, which is why we get this didactic system and we don't have a solid vote. And this is what really has happened, and it has come to a head. Black people, we have never been monolithic. But it really has shown, it really has shown for this election. And now it should continue because our votes are taken for granted.
Our votes brought it home.
We take
Our votes.
for
It was
granted,
it was the black vote that brought Joe home. I don't care what nobody say. It was the black
and it's taken for granted.
and
And
you
Democrats take it for granted.
and this is you leading into what I got to say.
Okay.
What I basically want to say is this: as much energy as we put into Donald Trump getting him out and protesting, this is what I got to say. We got to give Joe the same energy, and we got to push
I agree.
him to correct these wrongs. Right. Now, here's the thing about that. Joe wasn't the only person signed off on that bill now, okay? Bill Clinton signed off on that bill. And there's a few people still in office now.
Who signed off
on that bill. They didn't have the foresight enough to realize what was possibly going to happen down the road. But all I'm saying is this. Joe is possibly going to be there for 4 years. From day one when he gets in there, let's not go into hibernation. Get on his ass just like you get on Donald Trump. Tell him he needs to correct these wrongs. I got family members, I got friends who were incarcerated and they can't find jobs, or they just not getting opportunity. I'm going through the neighborhood every day. Get on Joe ass just like you get on Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump had the platinum bill or whatever he got. Joe said he had something too, to bring it home to me, Lord Bill or whatever. We need to all get together, put down your political swords. Get on Joe's ass and Kamala, because she black. She riding black, right? Get on them both immediately to get what we need so that we can be where we got to be, because the black community has fallen short these last 30 years from bad policies and people just not caring.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Can we do the same thing for our black politicians here in the state of Illinois? Can I ask the same thing of Alderman Jason Irvin on the west side? Can I ask the same thing of all the aldermen on the west side? Can I ask the same thing from our congressman who once sits on the west side? Can I ask the same thing for all of those blacks who we have voted into office down in Springfield, including LaShawn Ford, including some of the people, because the west side of Chicago still looks the exact same for 30 years.
South side too, though. South side too.
But I'm talking about the west side right now because you're sitting in front of
But some of the people you mentioned,
and so the south side
they covered the south side.
And so the south side as well. So the same vigor that we have with Joe and Kamala, we should be having with the people who are in the damn neighborhoods that we live in.
Exactly.
And we recycling them.
Let's not go into hibernation and say, oh, he good now, he gonna do this for us. No, you get on his ass.
Oh, come on.
And you make sure you tell Joe, we brought it home for you. The black woman brought it home for you, and the black man played our part too. You know,
black men
hear me out. Yeah. Trump only got 18% black men. Okay,
it's gonna go
up. So what I'm saying is, black men voted for Biden. I know a lot of I voted for Biden.
I voted for Biden.
This is what I'm saying. When you get in there day one, your first year, man, don't be messing around. Okay.
What about the people who have been in there for over 30 years, Will, and we still looking the same way?
We pick and choose who we want to hold accountable.
And we have to appeal to them to go to him.
No, we got to demand the same way that we demanded for them, right?
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, we're going to go to the 30, and let me take some calls, Dale. But I'm not trying to belittle what you're saying.
I'm not belittling.
But hey, you would get what I'm saying? Because we got the same black politicians in our neighborhoods that have been there. We ain't even got Joe and Kamala in, and we still waiting on the damn election to be called, right? But we got people who have been sitting in office, and unemployment is still the same way. We done changed mayors 3 times over the past 30 years. It's only been Daley, Rahm, and now Lori Lightfoot, and it's the same thing. And Lori is the only one that I personally have seen who's making a valiant effort to put money and resources into the West and south sides of Chicago, and she gets cussed out by the north side because she's paying attention to the black people on both.
Who should have had it anyway?
On both the west side,
should have had it anyway,
and the south side, and she's holding them accountable. So the same vigor that we have for these top heavy elected officials, we should be doing the same thing in our neighborhoods because it has not changed. Let's go to the phone lines. Let me go to Michael. Michael, thank you for your patience. Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Hey, Kendall, how you doing? And hello to the rest of the hosts. I don't know everyone's name.
Thank you.
You know, I am a news junkie. I watch the news probably 12, 13 hours every day. You know, it's one of the favorite things for me to do because I'm just that much into politics. But I want to ask, first of all, the last brother that was on is probably one of the worst people to come on to try to give somebody some advice and disagree, especially since he didn't even go out and vote. He doesn't think he voted, but he voted. Because whoever wins, that's who he voted for, whether he was actually at the polling place or not. But here's the thing. I would submit the people that are Trump supporters, ask them what exactly is in his platinum plan. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
What
there is none.
Yeah. And he's been asked about it. So don't bring me some politician that's going to tell me what they're going to do. I want to see what they're going to do. And they didn't have a plan. He's been in that office 4 years, and he hasn't done anything but at the last minute run around and say, I'm going to give a little money to Howard University, and I'm going to get Kanye West, and I'm just using us. We have been used and abused, and most people, if you don't keep up with politics and stay in line with what's going on, then you're getting it up the butt. I'm sorry, but that's the way it seems to me.
Yeah.
The other thing is that when you don't go and vote, you hurt everybody. And
I agree.
Real quick,
Brother Michael, I agree.
Prisoners should be able to vote, and they should have been able to vote. They should have never lost their vote, and here's why. They're not voting on the conditions of the prison. They're voting on issues that's going to affect their children or grandchildren or their mother. Another thing, I don't want to hear any more about the crime bill. If you're a criminal and you went out there, broke the law, was selling crack and poisoning your people and shooting up the neighborhood, the things that we get upset about, number one, don't have a doggone thing to do with about what's going on now. The time to argue about the crime bill was back in 1980 when people were out there selling cracks and shooting up the neighborhood. So, I
think it was in the 90s, Michael, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, 94.
I want everybody to have justice, but if you're a criminal, I'm sorry, you got caught up in the system, but the consequences after you've gone to jail, once you've paid your debt to society, which is often the punishment far exceeds the crime, and it's generally black people. So they definitely need to restore the vote to every person. Finally, they need to be able to go and vote online. I don't care all this stuff where they're talking about security. Even if they hacked in there, they can trace you within 5 or 10 minutes if you submitted or hacked into the system. We can protect our nuclear codes. We can protect from us accidentally dropping a bomb on Russia or China. And you're going to tell me we can't go and vote online? Your vote, you should be able to vote online. You can go to the polling place. You can go to the library. You can go to the schools. And so it should be convenient. Everybody should be able to vote, even if you don't have a computer. You should be able to go to the polling place. And not only that, you can put in your own personal code once the government sets up the site, just like when they gave out the money either for the stimulus or there is a way to have a secure way that everybody should be able to vote. And finally, these black people that keep selling us out, either they don't vote or they're stuck on something that happened, like you said, in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. All of that stuff don't mean a doggone thing. It's going to come down to two people. Biden, who, honestly, yeah, he might have passed the crime bill, but that was relevant to the time in which he voted. People, we're in 2020.
Yep.
Let's look ahead. Stop looking back and blaming Obama for who shot John and totally ignoring that was an acknowledgement. I'm proud that he got there. I don't care that he didn't do anything personal for me, and if he had, that would have destroyed the next black person to come up and vote.
All right,
so,
Brother Michael, I'm sorry, I gotta go to break. Brother Michael, thank you for
bless.
sharing that. We certainly appreciate you here at the Kendall Moore Show. We're back in a moment, folks. Do this. It's a Friday night show, of course. We have a lot of fun with this, but when it comes to the existence of our democracy here in the United States of America, there's a lot at stake. You know, Biden is supposed to speak tonight. Even if the race is not called, him and Kamala Harris, they're going to, make a statement. But the behavior of President Trump and the Trumpites, Mike, I see you. You're a Trump voter. We're going to come to you. We're going to make sure you get in here. Rosetta and everybody else, we're going to make sure that you get in. But the conversation, it has so many tentacles that are attached to it. And again, I want to be very clear. I am happy that we possibly can get back to some normalcy when it comes to the United States of America, because we have become the laughing stock of the world. And that in and of itself, to me, was enough for me to vote for Biden. There are a lot of things that Trump put forth and people try to quantify and justify. What they can't do is justify to me the overt racism,
Right.
and the empowerment of white supremacy, and the dog whistle of all of these other neo-Nazi hate groups that have been activated because of his antics. Never in the history of the United States of America. There are presidents who have just straight up been racist, and they've called
Woodrow Wilson,
the N-word,
LGBT,
and people have publicized it. We've known it, but not, I don't think, ever to this degree.
Yeah.
And so, for me, normalcy for our republic is what's necessary. And then we haven't even touched on COVID. Do you realize the last few campaigns, you know, when Trump went on that swing that last week, there are over 700 people who have COVID-19 because they were at his campaigns. I mean, they were at his rallies, and they've called.
They say 200,000 here in Illinois, or
well, I'm talking about COVID at the
nationwide.
Trump rallies. Like 70,000 people now have COVID because of. I mean, it's just been extremely. It's been very irresponsible. A person sitting in that high of a seat of the land, I really don't think that they are capable of, you know. I just don't.
Here's the thing.
And it's not really. If you're a racist, you're a racist. I get it. That's not the reason I did not vote for you. Because there's a lot of people that I work for. I'm sure they racist, and I get that. That's not the reason that I did not vote for you. It's the other things that are attached to that has implications, and that it's going to have an impact on generations to come. Go ahead, Will. Let me just. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Because we were coming back to you anyway.
Go ahead. Just before you get off the topic of those super spreader events, I wanted to just make it clear that over 700 people have died because of those events. Over 700 people have died because of his super spreader events.
Because of his events.
Because of his events. Exactly. So we need to make that clear. And it's also very interesting how people don't understand the energy that comes behind what Trump puts out. He is preaching and promoting bigotry on levels like we have never seen before in the presidential office. And I just do not understand how people find that excusable, whether it's for your business gains or, like Will said, because he's giving you attention or whatever the case may be. How is it okay for you to let the president of the United States set us back 60 years?
You know, that's a. Let me just say the attention thing is another category, but let me say this. He shows that he's not necessarily an experienced diplomat. And you know, he was a businessman. He was on TV. A reality personality. Exactly. He was not an experienced diplomat. In other words, he was not a public servant. There's etiquette. There's certain etiquette.
So why do you want to reelect
to being
that
a public servant? And the thing is, it's showing now that he's, like I said, I've said this before. He reads ledgers and numbers. He does not read legislation and statistics.
Cliff notes.
That's not what he does, and he's not good at that.
I would get cliff notes.
Right.
Like, give me the cliff notes. Give me the bullet points, and this is what
But he cheated on his college exams, man. Come on.
Like, give me cliff notes.
He cheated on his college exams,
for the
bro.
life of me, I don't understand how people can follow such a person. You cannot tell me.
Because it's not hard, because we have to be realistic. I think what's going on, here in America, we're not being realistic. That racism still exists. Prejudice. No, we know that, but we don't understand. We have a lot of work. What we're really showing statistically is there's a lot of work to be done as it relates to race relations. We don't seem to remember that America is a great big racial experiment, social experiment. There's never been another country like America where you have so many different types of people in one country, one set of ground, trying to the melting pot, supposedly trying to make a decision. And this is what's unique. So when people outside of America, they look at us and say, man, they don't have confidence in us. I take that kind of with a grain of salt, realistically, because they don't have what we have here. They don't have Latinos and blacks and Asians and whites who are Irish or Italian or Polish, who come from different type of cultures. And now what we're trying to do is all work together, and we all bring our different prejudices with us.
Let me ask you this, Will. Let me ask you this, Netta. Let me ask you this, Isaiah. And what about all those kids, right?
Yes.
Who came over with their parents and they've been separated from their parents. We're not talking about them.
Right.
We're not talking. What happened to those kids?
They still there, and hopefully
and the parents, we still
get
haven't
them out
found
of there.
the parents.
They're still missing.
Yeah,
and there's, you know, like
there's so many layers to
so
it.
much that we are, and now we
and they talk about the inexcusability of Biden and the crime bill. That's not inexcusable.
Like, we got kids that are still without parents.
They should have been with their parents.
Oh my God! Like,
they should have when they got the parents. They should have put with the parents.
Trump has been like a pimple on my booty. And the reason that I say that is because if my arms ain't long enough to get the hemorrhoid, then you know it's something. Right. So here's the thing, though. You cannot tell me that him talking about all you got to do is touch up Punani. You cannot tell me some of the things that has come out of this man's mouth.
Yes.
Some of the overt racism, stand by, stand down, be ready. You cannot tell me that Twitter had to shut him down because 300,000 plus were ready to galvanize and go begin a civil war. And he is the front leader. Here's the thing for me that should have made people aware of what we have been dealing with and what we continue to deal with, because he's not going to go away quietly.
Right.
At all.
When, in fact, he told, when he said, stand down, but stand by, when he said that,
Right.
And called them by their name. He said Proud Boys.
See, but that
Proud
justifies his
Boys.
inexperience to be
That is
a
so
president.
would you
He
want
should
to
not.
re-elect
He should not
this
be the
person?
president because,
Oh my
like I
God.
said, he does not have the diplomatic etiquette.
But how
he
can
does not
people
understand.
vote
You know
for a
what?
person?
He
How
doesn't
do you
realize
justify
They
voting for a
don't. They don't
person like
understand the
that?
importance of leadership.
They want to uphold white supremacy.
because they don't care as long as he gives them the bag that they need to survive.
Even today, as I was watching Fox, right?
you know, you could. We've
They're
always
lawyers and
yeah.
all of like the Sean Hannitys and all of these people. All right, Ned, I get it. Go to the phone line. All right, folks, I'm coming to you on the phone line. I just got to get this out. I'm watching Fox because I have to hear a balanced, like, what am I missing from the
That
other
side.
networks that I watch? They could not. They could not justify why he should remain president, or that he lost this election. They couldn't. They were very sad. They were very somber,
Right.
because they could not figure out like why he lost. And the reality of it is, go back to what we talked about earlier. Stop counting. If we stop counting, Joe Biden wins.
Exactly.
Right.
If we keep counting, Joe Biden wins.
Yeah.
What do you want? Your lawyers, your attorneys, the Republicans, they're in the courts, and the courts at the local level are shutting them down. Like, no, don't make sense.
There's no
Bring me some evidence.
argument.
Yeah.
That's what happened out in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The recounts are going to be the recounts and the recounts. And
Right.
so even with that, right? Like, think about this for 1 second. I promise you. The system in and of itself for elections, our democracy, for him to say it's going to be a farce and it's phony and it's fake, what he's saying to us in America is that he doesn't trust this system that has been in place, that has quantified votes for thousands, for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Do y'all understand that?
I mean, when he won, he won, and
that
nobody
was the
debated it. We
simplicity
debated
of
it.
it.
If that's the case,
Yeah.
his whole
When he won,
presidency
he
is
won.
But
illegitimate.
now we still in votes.
Right.
Right.
You're the one who said
Don't mail in your ballot.
don't mail in your ballots. He thought that the red wave was going to be enough of them to go in and vote on the day
And
of.
that's not-
You know, they got a whole secret
Right.
little thing that they work on.
Right.
That they got a whole little line.
Yeah.
Let me say this to the people who out here listening to the show tonight. White supremacists and white people who are racist and who are Trump supporters, they have a whole different group me, a whole different line that they listen to.
Yeah, I'm on it now.
That they screen, because some of them are part of the FBI, some of them are part of law enforcement, some of them are here in the city of Chicago. But the point that I am making, there was a bell whistle that went out to say, you all are going to go vote on this day, and we're about to show them that we're going to win. And it didn't happen.
It's not enough.
Yep.
It's
It
never
didn't
enough.
happen. It did not happen. And he is upset that people who caught COVID or who was afraid of catching COVID or who voted early because they did not trust that guy,
Yeah.
they mailed in their ballots. And now you got your supporters telling people to go with your guns, get armed, and start a civil war. Because I'm a big crybaby and I'm going to go away kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we allow this. Well, we have allowed this with President Barack Obama.
Absolutely.
You know how many
Nope.
ninjas they called that man, and he didn't do anything.
Yep.
Do you realize? Do you know that?
Yep.
Like, really? Do we? I mean, talked about Obama like, you know, he was somebody from, he wasn't even born here. We needed his we needed his birth certificate.
Yeah.
And now we sit here and we entertain Trump.
Yep.
I have to just point out, I am not the political mind of the group. I'm
Yes,
I'm
you
sure
are.
people know
No,
that,
you're
right?
absolutely
But there
brilliant.
are people who study politics and they know what's going on. Historically, Democrats are the ones who are more prone to mail in their ballots. So when he said don't mail in your ballots, he wasn't talking to everybody. He was talking to his people.
Yes.
Because he's been sabotaging the U.S. Postal Service for months.
Right.
Phil.
So when he says stop counting the votes, it's because no one informed him that they needed to change strategies. He was already going to challenge the mail-in votes. That was a strategy the entire time. So these mail-in ballots that are coming in, and he's like, stop counting the votes, is because he wants them to stop counting the Democratic votes.
Kendall.
The same thing Al Gore did.
Did she
down in
just
Florida.
say she was not a political mind? No, you have that superpower too, Netta. We're going to activate you.
All
You
right,
are
all right.
activated.
So we got a bank full of calls. We got to go to them. Let's. You know what? I think we should start
Brilliant
with
analysis,
Let's
Netta.
start with Mike. Mike is a Trump supporter. Hey, Mike.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, how you doing tonight?
Everything is good, Mike.
Good, good. Yeah, I did vote for Trump this time around, and it was a twofold vote. One, I was very, very upset with the Democratic Party as a party. They seemed like to me they were disorganized with 21 people trying to run for president. Then they couldn't figure that out. Then they put Biden up there because they think he can win, which is actually he's proven them right. But the thing to me was it went from he's the best guy to the guy that thinks we can beat Trump. And to me, that's just like me pushing somebody up there saying, okay, you may not be good, but we know you can beat this guy. And I could not vote for that. Now, the other part is that Trump in office keeps everybody engaged. We're going to keep marching. We're going to keep protesting. We're going to keep commanding things. I think the minute Biden and Kamala get in, we go back and we relax and say, okay, everything's okay now.
I hope not, Mike. I really do. I hope not. Go ahead.
But this already been proved. We thought racism ended when Obama got in, so we stopped. No, we didn't. We didn't do anything. We didn't march. We didn't protest. We didn't do anything. Now I think.
Mike, let me ask you this question. You just made a statement that I'm not clear on. When you said when Obama was voted in, we saw racism. Please expound.
No, I said when everybody thought racism kind of ended when Obama became president.
Oh my God!
It was always there.
Yes, we were a post-racial society.
Oh yeah, no.
Right.
But it was the wrong. It was the wrong people giving the wrong story, and that was the problem. Like there are issues with everybody's campaigns and what they have done. We've learned from Obama now, but I get it. At that time, we thought it was over, and it was hardly over. What people did was they retracted and they went back and regrouped, which is why Trump won. To be honest with you,
and then we didn't come back, and then we didn't engage. And I feel the same thing is going to happen when Biden and Obama get in. We're going to say, okay, our job's done. Now we're going to count on them.
No, we can't.
To do. I know, but
we have a whole new generation who is woke now. We're not going to be dealing with the Bill Cosby people, right? So here's the thing, Mike, and thank you for your call. Here's the thing. So there was the civil rights, and let me put this in context for the WVON listeners. You got people like Dorothy Tillman, who's here on VON, who marched with King. We get that. Love it. Hand up. Got it. She did it her way. You got me. You got Mike. We like 90 guys. We went to the Million Man March, right? And so we did it that way, rocked out that way for our rights and all of this other stuff. Now you have these Zenners, if I think that's the word to use, who they ready to tear everything down. They don't want to hear me. They like, Kendall, you know what? We appreciate your knowledge, but we have a completely different way of attacking this systemic racism that exists. We appreciate you, big bruh, but we got a different way of doing it. Give me the tools. And so this is what my generation should not be doing. we're not going to do what the generation before me did. We're not going to say, no, sit down, let me take care of this. No, what I do is say, here go the tools. Have at it. Here go my resources, and you do what you need to do. And that is the difference. And it's just not black girls and black boys. It's colored. It's communities of color. And it's younger people who have been given the opportunity and have been given the resources to be who they are. Don't sit here and listen to me. Once I give you what I give you, take it and run with it. I'm not the king. I am not the king. Because I know Danny Davis, because I know Bobby Rush, because I know Lori Lightfoot, because I know Kim Fox, and I have a connection to them, and I'm just using that as an example, does not mean that I'm the person that you need to come to. Because I'm on a radio show. That does not mean that I don't own this. My job is to give it to the next generation. And we have failed miserably at that. And I promise you, when the exit polls come out, it is going to be that younger generation, Will, to your point, the Bernie people,
the burners.
They was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We wouldn't vote. They wouldn't vote for Hillary, but they was like, you know what? We gonna rock. We got to get Trump out of there.
Right.
Because when COVID hit, they shut everything down.
Yep.
And that was the worst thing that could happen to Donald Trump. I promise you, when he does his memoirs, he's going to tell you why he lost.
Yeah.
George Floyd got killed, and it was COVID going on, and it wasn't any sports going on, and it woke people up. That's why Donald Trump lost. Let's go back to the phone lines. Rosita, how you doing? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
I'm doing fine. I'm listening to the show and enjoying it. I want to get back to what the caller who watches the news 12 and 13 hours a day talked about with the crime bill a little bit, because I want him to know that, and all the people who think the crime bill happened 20 and 30 years ago and no one is impacted today, well, we have people still in jail.
Yep.
And I really do feel like that needs to be fixed. That has to be one of the asks. People have been damaged and their lives are ruined. And so we need to be asking for justice for them. It is not over for them. It may be over for you. And when I lived through the crime bill barely, because I had sons at that time.
Yeah.
And I taught school at that time. And I watched how our very young teenagers were targeted for very small infractions of the law, put in jail. Some of the parents couldn't afford to keep bailing them out, and so they stayed there. You know, I was blessed because I had a job, and I raised sons. It almost killed me. I raised sons during that crime bill, and that crime bill was something else. And so it was not fair, and it was not about who was crap. Nobody was doing crap. These kids were not. They were small. It was as if they unleashed every dirty cop in the country on these young people. And it was one of the most unfair things. Now, Joe Biden didn't just vote for it. He wrote it. So he has some responsibility in that, and he needs to fix that.
Yep.
And so the people that voted for the legislators, because I'm going to just say this about this policy stuff that they half read and sign off on everybody's life and ruin everybody's life because they're too lazy to read the bill, because that is what is going on with this policy. The legislators need to deal with the fact that when they're signing out on this policy, what it looks like on the ground. You need to be forced to live in the mess you're signing off on.
Yeah.
And I just have to say that because I'm sick and tired of the whole. I've seen a lot. And we had a bill that came through here, Senate Bill 7. Every single one of the legislators, we have 10,000 African American teachers fired as a result of that bill. And every legislator except Monique Davis signed off on that bill. And they need to be held accountable. But I'm just going to stop there because I could go on and on.
All right, Ms.
Thank
Rosetta,
you.
thank you very much. We certainly appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to mention to you guys that coming up soon, Joe Biden will be coming up in a he's going to be giving a press conference. So we're going to take a break right now, and we will be going to the press conference as soon as it comes up. We're back in a moment. It's the Kendall Moore Show. You hear this music, of course, it is time for the Lit Roundtable. Will and I, and Netta Beretta, as well as Isaiah the I, and of course, my associate producer, my girl, Naya Fire. We've been talking about this for the past few weeks, right? And that is when the Lit Roundtable comes on, we are still talking politics. All right, y'all.
Politics is lit right now, man.
Because politics.
We don't need to be talking about celebrities. They don't have. You know what? Let me say this though. You said something about celebrities earlier.
Yeah.
There are a lot of educated celebrities. You'd be surprised. Chuck D from Public Enemy. He has a degree from Cornell University, an Ivy League school. You know what I'm saying? He could easily
Well,
run
I'm
for
an
office.
educated celebrity.
You as well.
Thank
but
you.
that's
Thank
what
you.
I'm
Thank you
saying.
very much.
So
Thank
there's
you.
nothing wrong with celebrities running for office as long as you see that they're qualified. I don't want Lil Wayne running for office. Lil Wayne can't do nothing.
I'm going back to Kanye.
But
How
make
does he
blunt
only win
legislation.
Calumet City, Harvey, and
But that's what I'm saying. So
this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Kanye was put in place to take some votes from Biden. That's
yeah,
why
but he
Kanye
hurt
was
Trump.
even
He
there.
hurt Trump.
He did hurt Trump.
And that was a stupid move anyway. What it shows to me is I am a professional campaigner.
I'm listening,
I know
Will.
how to campaign. Let me tell you where Trump bungled. The coronavirus, he bungled that. Okay? His
killed
judgment
people.
was so bad because he was so focused on who the last guy was president and his name was on it, which was stupid.
Yeah.
And then once it hit everybody, he sent you $1,200 once. Okay, you should have got
or
$1,200.
$1,500 if you had some kids.
Exactly, but you should have got that every week, man. You should have got that every week. This is a campaign season, idiot. What's wrong with you, man?
to me.
You know what I'm saying? You don't realize what you're doing. You sabotage yourself. And then you sit here and tell everybody, hey, we're not going to talk about the stimulus checks until after the campaign. Fool, is you crazy? You better give the people the money that they need so they can survive, so they will support you. So he did himself in because he is inexperienced. And it showed in the end he is inexperienced. The moves that he made, the decisions that he made toward the end shows that he should not be president. Being a president is not something that you just take somebody off the street and put them in the seat and then you learn as you go. You can't do that. And you have to work yourself up. I can see if you were an alderman, then you became a state representative or whatever, then you became a state senator, and then you became a senator or a governor. You have an understanding of the process. This fool came off reality TV. He ran a business. And for all you people out there that think it's just that easy to campaign and read legislation, it's not. Legislation is tedious. It's 40, 50, sometimes 100 or more pages of what's going on in this community. It's statistics. It's all this other things. It's not like reading a ledger of checks and balances. And people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying?
And yet-
So you say he's an excellent businessman. His skill is negotiation. His skill is not legislation. That's where you drop the ball at. Just bad campaign move all over the ball.
All right. So before we continue, and we are going to come to And What Now? And What Now? We're coming to you, brother, in just 1 second. I want to remind everybody that if you are looking for an affordable and friendly place for your healthcare needs, visit Beloved Community Family Wellness Center. The Beloved Community Family Wellness Center offers healthcare services for infants, adolescents, women's and health, and senior citizens, regardless of your financial status. Medical insurance is accepted at the center, and it also offers discount payment plans. Listen, there are 2 locations. One is in Inglewood, 68th and Halstead, or you can go to Robbins, 139th and Kedzie. For more information, go to the Beloved Community Family Wellness Center, the website, bcfwc.org. Let me repeat that and let me slow down. bcfwc.org. The Beloved Community Family Wellness Center. COVID is on the rise. I don't have enough time in my show to talk about it, but right now, Governor Pritzker, Governor Pritzker, I think he's on the brink of telling everybody that they need to just stay home. He's going to really retract a lot of what's going on.
He's going to tell people to stay home.
Stay
again.
home. It's especially with the Thanksgiving weekend that is coming up. Also, I want to say this. WVON, we're partnering with the My Block, My Hood, My City. It's an initiative to rebuild our communities. Make sure you join WVON November 21st. It's a virtual workshop on block club organizing. What you need to know about creating or reestablishing a block club for your neighborhoods. What we want to do, we here at WVON, we want you to register at Eventbrite, search WVON Block Club. The workshop, it begins at 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 21st. Block clubs are so important. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, if you're listening, we need your support in that area as well. All right. Hey, Dale, I'm not taking a break. I got too many people on the phone line. I'm going to all of the callers so that we can talk to them. Biden is very close to victory, but the counts, they continue in Arizona, in Nevada, and Pennsylvania. I want to know what your thoughts are on what we have been discussing here this evening. 591-1690. That is the number to connect. And what now? How are you, sir?
What's going on, young people? How are you all this evening?
Peace and blessings. Great to hear from you.
Likewise. First of all, I think that when we have this conversation, I keep hearing the word we. And I think that's unfair when we say we, because all black people don't think alike, don't agree, or do agree. So we need to stop saying we need to do this, we should have done this, we should have done this. Should say some black people thought this way or that way. The lady who called in and started to talk about Joe Biden with the crime bill and all the black people who got locked up and all this other stuff, I'm with the other caller. At the end of the day, and I'm 52, and I was a teenager during the late 80s when crack was at its highest. I didn't think I was going to make it, and I wasn't involved in any of that. It was just the mere fact that people in your community were selling dope, crack cocaine, drinking, gangbanging, and acting a fool and destroying their own community. So if it was me, they wouldn't even got 3 strikes. They would have got 1 strike, and I would have gave through the book at you. Because anytime you are happy to destroy your own community and your own women and your own people, then something is wrong with you. So this whole empathy thing that they want to go on with, somehow somebody did them wrong. No, you shouldn't have been out there selling dope. And if you was going to sell dope, you should have sold it to like the Italians did. Don't sell it to your own people, sell it to the other people. So to me, that just sounds ridiculous that we think crime should pay and somehow somebody should be empathetic. And that's not to say I don't believe in racism and sentencing and all that other stuff. That's a whole separate issue.
But you know what? But you know what? And I'm definitely going to let you continue.
Yes, sir.
To be honest, like, white people don't care about that because they're not the ones being locked up. And that's real. And I really want to re-emphasize that again. We keep talking about this crime bill. White politicians or white people, period, are not worried about incarceration. So we as black people, as black men, period, they don't get it. No, Will. Let me get back to and what now. Let me get back to and what now because they don't care. They don't care because Rahm, when it came to Laquan McDonald, Rahm had to retire because Anita Alvarez was locking brothers up at an astronomical rate. I promise you that. At an astronomical rate. We're talking about this crime bill. Let's talk about what's going on in Chicago. Let's talk about all of these dirty detectives. Let's talk about all of these brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated here in the state of Illinois. We are we're part of the engine. We're like fuel to the state of Illinois.
see, this the
All of
problem-
those
this the problem that
prisons
I'm-
that are downstate, ain't no prison here nowhere. I think the closest one is what?
Is it Joliet?
No, it's not, like Monique, Illinois, or something like that. And that's the
aside from
sweet
Cook County.
Yeah. But everybody else get locked up. Tom Dart doing the best that he can. Nonetheless, though, Will, you can scratch your face all you want to, but I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
say this.
listening to you.
But I'm saying this though.
I'm examining.
And what
you're
now?
saying.
Stay here with me.
Hmm.
Here's the thing, though. It's money. It's fuel.
Right.
Like, just think about us as commodities.
Yes.
We downstate locked up, but we
Yes.
talking about it comprehensively. But I keep trying to get us back to come back to the state with all these black people who run this state, and we still got all these black people locked up in this state. We ain't talking to the black politicians to get our black people in this state. I'm not talking about holding a town hall meeting if you got a nonviolent offense. Stop, man. And what now? Please continue.
Yes, sir. Let me ask this question. I got 3 sons and a daughter. If my own son or my daughter today decided today they was going to sell drugs, she was going to run the streets, violence, self and gang activity, I'm not going to blame Kendall. I ain't going to blame the mayor nor the president. That was my responsibility. Those are responsibility of the men and women who are responsible for their children. That's as simple as that. I mean, I don't even understand where it's going. Now, this whole thing between Biden and Donald Trump and Donald Trump is snake. I like the snake because Donald Trump knocked on my car door and said, "Hey, I'm the big bad wolf, and I want to ride with you." I said, "No problem," but I got my big bad wolf suit on, so at least I know who he is. He didn't lie to me. The rest of these people lie all the time, so I'm not understanding black people. I don't understand black people, and I'm gonna just say this part: when, like, we take our former president Barack Obama, some black people, a lot of them criticize Barack Obama and say he did nothing for black people. They criticize him, his wife, his family. Every day they talked about this man. Every day, even though he couldn't pass anything because the same devils that's sitting in the office, the same devils that's in the 1960s and the 50s, these same people hold the same office. I'm trying to figure out why are y'all assuming that these same people, because it's 2020, somehow they got to change the heart when they was running the same country for the last 60 years. I'm not understanding these
because he
same
could have did
people.
an executive action, which didn't have to.
I
It
just
wasn't
said
law.
that, though. Did I not?
legislation? It wouldn't be law legislatively created by
literally
Congress
I
or by the
said that,
Senate.
like,
but he could have said,
two
"Okay, this is a
commercials ago.
special situation."
2 commercials
I'm
ago, I
going
said
to,
the same
yeah.
thing. That's
So-
all I'm saying.
So, and that's why they're
No,
upset,
but-
Art, because I have
Brother
talked to
Art,
Dr. Carl
like,
West.
Brother Art, like real.
I have talked to Dr. Carl West, who comes
Doctor?
on here. Yeah, well, I call him Dr. Carl West because he's
Man,
brilliant.
stop. Quit
Carl
playing
West
with me,
is a
man.
brilliant businessman.
Man, respect,
He's a
man.
brilliant man.
Quit, man.
That's my
Don't do
guy.
that. Don't do that on
and,
this show.
And Carl
Don't do that.
West
Don't do that.
told me, he said it's
Look,
legislation he
don't do
could have
that. Please don't
initiated,
do
but
that.
with an executive
Brother
order.
Art, back to
say
you.
this
Art,
again,
what you
and-
saying?
And
Let me
that's
say
why
this last
people are
part.
upset.
I-
That's
I'm
what he
so-
told me.
I'm so-
I'm just telling you what he
I'm
told
so
me.
tired. I don't care. I'm so tired of hearing people who got all these letters behind their name, Doctor this, Doctor that, Peter, Doctor Professor.
Well, I
this,
call him
that.
doctor. He might not be really a doctor, but I call him doctor.
Let me finish. I hear all these professionals come on. They've been coming on. I'm 50 years old for the last 52 years, and guess what? We ain't got nothing. We still in the same or worse spot.
That's
And
all I
all these
say,
people
Art.
I agree.
that They're professionals.
That's all I
So
say.
I'm tired of hearing about the doctors, the professionals. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
And some
who
ain't
did-
doctors.
Guess who moved the ball? The ones you all said that the brother, the host of the show, yourself, sir, said these young people decide they tired of standing on the 10-yard line, and guess what? We finna get on the 50-yard line because y'all been on this 10-yard line for the last 60 years, and they did what was necessary because some of us was too afraid to disrupt our Cadillacs, our nice homes, our
Thank
little
you, brother
dime
Art.
jobs.
I agree.
And what now? And let me
Yes,
let me extend that a little bit, because we've been doing this for a long time. When I say we have,
Absolutely.
WVON, we get the same people who call, who give their opinions, and everybody is aging out. I don't want to name any names, but people are aging
Absolutely.
out.
I'm
And
going
it's
to
the-
leave today, Kendall. I'm sorry.
Will, thank you very much for your service. We'll see you later. But nonetheless, though, the point that I am making, lip service. You don't
Absolutely.
see him. You don't see him in the neighborhood. You see him in
talking about
newspapers. You see
Dr.
people in
King and all
newspapers.
this other stuff. I
You
don't
see
hear
people
nothing
in
about all that now.
newspapers. You see people on Instagram now. You're too old to be on Instagram. You're too old to be on social media. You should have been doing what you were doing. And when you on there, you ain't even doing what you're supposed to be doing. You on there taking pictures.
And
You ain't- you
let me
ain't
make this
moving- you're
this
not
last
moving
point, 'cause
the
I know
needle.
You got a lot of callers. I just wanted to say this last point. This was kills me about black people and those you talking about. We have yellow signs up all through our neighborhoods saying safe passage. We got these signs up to protect the same mama from the other mama with the same son, the same black son, black daughter from one another. And then guess who we have protecting us? We have the same white devils that people say that's the racist, the biggest, the police who's going to kill us and shoot us. They standing out there in the fire truck, talk to the black children, telling you don't beat this other black child up. I mean, how ignorant, how buffoon behavior is that? And y'all want me to listen? Please. Insanity. I leave you with that, and God bless.
All right, thanks, Brother Art. You made me think about Brother Tommy. Let's go to Tanya. Tanya, how you doing? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Hello, good evening. This is an old lady calling you with a couple of thoughts. First of all, earlier you talked about playing checkers or chess and what politicians do. So I say that some politicians play checkers. Barack Obama was known for playing chess, but he should not have been playing that. COVID-45, by the way, played WWF wrestling. He was in a whole other league.
Sister Tanya, let me say this to you. You are either standing too close to a radio, but we're getting a lot of static from you. So can you reposition yourself?
Okay, can you still hear me? Or
I can, but it's a lot of static coming from you.
Okay, let me try this. Okay.
If you're on speakerphone, take us off.
Can you hear me better now?
Say that again.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you are still clicking.
I'm still clicking. I wonder where that is. Okay.
Right. So Tanya, do me a favor. Call me back, okay? I got you.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure I take
All
the
right.
call. All right. Brother Lawrence, thank you. Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Hey, what's up?
Everything.
All right, here's the thing. They talking about the crime bill. Hey, you're in your neighborhood, destroying your neighborhood, selling dope all over the country with that rock back in the 90s, man. What did you get caught with 2 or 3 kilos? You're supposed to go to jail, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Why are we still talking about damn crime? Crime is not the only thing black people are associated
I agree with you. I think you're not supposed to go to crime for life for rock. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you're selling drugs. You should go to jail. You should pay the price. You're not supposed to go to jail for life for a rock. It's guys that got guns, have gun offenses 2 or 3, 4 or 5 times and been in and out of jail, having guns they not supposed to have. But you go to jail for a rock. 3 strikes and you're out? Life in prison?
Hey, here's another thing. How can a black person vote for Trump? On the radio said he's going to vote for Trump.
I agree with you on that. I did not vote for Trump. But what I'm saying is this is the problem that a lot of young black people who were young at the time, and it's still in effect. 3 strikes and you're out for a rock? Come on, man. Oh, I done caught you for the 3rd time. You had drugs. Come on, we know how
I'm just really tired of having this conversation.
All right, got it. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to give you life.
I'm really tired of having this conversation about whether or not someone should get life because they had a rock 3 times.
Delvin is telling me I got to take a break.
I know people.
Let me take this break. We come back. Let's finish the conversation.
I know people that happen to.
He's managed.
I know a guy right
now. No realer than him. Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III at Trinity United Church of Christ, located at 400 West 95th Street on the south side of Chicago. We invite you to worship here at Trinity United Church of Christ. We have 3 worship services, 7:30 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. Or join us on WVON during our broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. WVON.
Kendall Moore on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
He greets his father with his hands up, rehabilitated slightly, glad to be the man's child. The world is different since he's seen it last. Out of jail, been 7 years, and he's happy that he's free at last. All he had was his mother's letters. Now he's mobile, and he's gotta make a change and make it for the better. But he's black, so he's got one strike against him. And he's young, plus he came up in the system. But he's smart, and he's finally making 18. And his goal's to get on top and try to stay clean. So he's calling up his homie who came up, living lavish. Now they dealing with the same stuff, and had that attitude that who he was worth lame. And with that messed up attitude, he killed his first man. Now it's different, he did dirt, and realized killing it meant coming up, but it still hurt. And can't nobody change this. It's 1994, and we up against the same list. I never understood why I could never see a man cry till I seen a man die.
33 minutes after the hour, of course, it is the Kendall Moore Show. I want to make sure that you guys are in tune with what we are doing with My Block, My Hood, My City. It is an initiative to rebuild our communities. I want to make sure that you participate in the virtual workshop. Organizing is going to begin at 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 21st. Register at Eventbrite and search WVON Block Club. 591-1690, that is the number. All right, let's get back to it. Beretta. I know, you know. Oh, my God. So, Beretta.
Yes.
I'm back to you. What we doing?
I'm just saying, I'm just tired of having this conversation.
What conversation are you tired of us having?
Well, we're trying to hold people like Biden accountable for the crime bill. Although there were a lot of
He's about to be the new
He has
president.
admitted that the crime bill was
so
bad.
then hold him accountable to fixing his wrongs. Don't you know what I'm saying? But here's
Why
my
are we
point.
not holding
but here's
Trump
my point.
accountable for the last 4 years?
Okay, but that's an aside though. That's an aside. That's not my point.
Okay, Beretta, I'm
my
sorry.
point is
Hold
I'm
on.
tired of talking about what happened and the legislation that put people in jail, and these people are locked up for life because they did this little bitty crime 3 times. I'm just tired of having that conversation. I'm not saying that they should be locked up for life for crimes that don't deserve a life sentence, but why aren't we talking more about education and family services and what we're doing and what we're doing in our
But that's the root to it. That's the solution.
Here's the thing. Rest up. Because we need to talk more about that. Rest up.
That's the solution.
Okay, I'm
Now that's hitting on the solutions.
You want to talk about the problem or the symptoms of the problem, and you don't want to talk about the root of the problem. So if you want to hold somebody accountable, hold people accountable for the education that's not being funded, the family services, the lack of employment, the lack of community engagement. You are, but you're not, because every time we have a presidential election, I'm not electing this president because he did X, Y, and Z. I'm not for this vice president because she did X, Y, and Z. But every single day in your community, in your jurisdiction where you live, where you can actually reach out and touch the people who are responsible, you have nothing
The West
to
Side
say.
is still burnt up after 30 years.
So
I'm
I don't
trying
want
to
to hear
tell
it
you,
no more. I
Beretta.
just don't want to hear it no more.
And all of them over there.
All of y'all
All of them
can
over
do
there.
something.
And
Go
they ain't
do something.
doing
Go
a
say
damn
something.
thing. On the South Side, they ain't doing a
You want to
damn
get mad
thing.
at President Obama for what
Not a
happened 8
damn
years ago.
thing.
So stop talking about the crime bill. Stop talking about 3 strikes you're out. All of those wrongs need to be righted, but you also need to put in the work where you're at. What's happening where you're at, what you can
Electing
actually
the
affect.
same people to continue
And
to
letting
get
them
paid. That's all
stay.
they do. They elect the same people to get paid.
Because if
you
we're
got
talking-
aldermen who have been in
so-
office for over 20 years.
People will
You got-
argue that
you got-
voting is
Oh
at the
my
bottom of the totem pole when it comes to political power. A lot of people will say that. But you all are so engaged in the presidential election, and you're not worried about the votes that actually matter. Either it in your city, in your state, in your county. Forget the president. How about the congressman? Who's talking about the congressman that y'all keep letting get reelected over and over and over again? No one's
Don't
talking
do that.
about that.
Will smiling. Is the camera? Is the
When are
camera
you talking about those people?
No, we don't. Let me get on.
Because the president only has so much reach.
Camera on me.
Camera's on you.
Anybody with any sense,
Don't put the camera on me either, though.
anybody with
Banana,
any
you bring
sense
up a very
knows
good
that
point,
Congress
though.
has the
I ain't
power.
saying
That's a very great point.
And you keep letting those people do whatever they want to do, and you want to get mad at Biden for a crime bill that black people also
And he
subscribe
hasn't
to.
even we still trying to get him into the damn White House.
You know what I'm saying?
And ain't nobody even talking
I'm
about
just tired of
everything
it.
that Trump has done.
Well, you know,
we ain't
maybe
talking
some of
about
them people,
everything that Trump,
some of them
what he
people were in
represents.
office
We ain't
at
even-
the time
we're not
when
even
Biden
having that
drafted that
conversation.
bill. Maybe some of the people we're talking about was in office at that time when
And
Biden
then-
drafted that bill, and they
It's
voted.
crazy.
And then you
on
got to
that
look
bill.
at what Biden is
Hashtag
supporting
Nat
right
Turner.
now.
That's where I'm at.
you go.
Hashtag Nat Turner. Go
Well, I'm
ahead,
not saying
Isaiah.
you're
In
wrong,
terms of
man.
like
I agree with
what
you.
he's supporting right now, like one of the main proponents is like legalizing marijuana, right? Because you know they have crack and cocaine, all that kind of stuff. People use it at the same rates amongst races. Black people are disproportionately incarcerated because of that, all that kind of stuff. But then marijuana was the main target in which they used to target black and brown folks and bring them into the system. Now Biden supports that kind of change and like legalizing it on a federal level, which is systemic in a way it's handled in the the local municipal levels. So that helps now because during this election, a lot of those bills. A lot of places are legalizing or decriminalizing marijuana and other drugs. So those drugs that have been used to criminalize black and brown folks are now either decriminalized or legalized. So legalized meaning you can just use it for use recreationally no matter what. Right. Decriminalized means that if you get caught with it, you're not going to be really arrested for it. You might get fined with it. You might take an assessment or a course to deal with that, answer those kind of questions. And that's the kind of systemic change that you want to see when you vote in a candidate. Trump doesn't even support that kind of legislation. So the systemic injustices surrounding mass incarceration will still continue to happen with Donald Trump as opposed to Joe Biden.
Isaiah, I have this question for you real quick, though.
Yes.
So you as a Zennial, I don't even know, there are no more alphabets after Z. So maybe you back to A. So what does this mean for your population? Because you're the one that we're out and we're doing, we're marching, we're doing, hold on. So my question is, now we have a Democratic president in office. Are you all still going to protest? Are you all still going to say defund the police? Like, what's next?
Yes, that kind of accountability will still happen. In fact, bringing up protests, I am actually planning one right now. And not because of Joe Biden.
No, that's real though, Will. That's real.
To keep that accountability going because it doesn't stop.
Jesus, man.
It doesn't stop. It does not stop. It does not stop.
I love it. I love it.
I'll tell you right now that pretense, the defund the police thing, I talked about it at length last week. But in terms of like marijuana, weed, the war on drugs and stuff like that, from my own personal experience, it helps when you have a president who supports that kind of stuff. I'm originally from New Jersey. 2 years ago, I was arrested because of possession of marijuana, right? And I had to deal with fines, court cases, all that kind of stuff for the entire summer, and that was extremely stressful. If things existed the way it existed 20 years ago, I'd probably be in jail right now. In that kind of sense.
But you're smoking lovely now.
Now
go
it's a
ahead.
little different,
No,
right?
go ahead.
Illinois, where it's
and
legal
that's the
Dirty
change,
Jersey, baby.
That's the change, though, because marijuana in New Jersey has been legalized.
So who changed it?
Phil Murphy, the governor. So that kind of stuff happens now.
Doing which campaign?
This one. It was just legalized during Election Day 2 days ago. Yes. So
Well,
that
Isaiah,
ballot
did
measure
you know
was
your
done.
Lord and Savior Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my goodness! So you
Well, come on, man.
I don't want to talk about that.
Go ahead.
But
go
I'm
ahead.
saying the way in which your life changes. Because for me, I've done a lot in my community, not only back home, but also here in the city of Chicago. I've done a lot for my campus community and all that kind of stuff. All of that could have been derailed by that simple possession of less than an eighth of marijuana, right? And it wasn't, I didn't even plead guilty to that kind of stuff. They just found it in the car, so they everyone in the car is guilty for it, whatever, that kind of stuff. And then going through an honorable discharge and all that kind of stuff because of my first offense. So I got lucky on that account. Not everyone gets that lucky. And you want to have that kind of prosperity, an opportunity for black and brown folks in our country, especially our black men who are criminalized from birth. They kind of, people look at them like, oh, they're criminals. That's it. No matter what. They don't even change their narrative, and they go through their entire life criminalizing black folks.
Exactly what you said
earlier. And that's what's
earlier.
changing. That's what has to change. Even something as simple as Joe Biden saying we have to legalize marijuana, that's something that trickles down and kind of reverses the ramification of the war on drugs, because now instead of criminalizing folks for doing drugs, you send them to rehabilitation centers where they can kind of, understand the wrongs of doing drugs for some cases, or you can understand how people are affected differently by doing drugs.
But why are they doing that now, though?
Because they're being able to move forward now, because they've seen the ramifications of the war on drugs and the 1994
They've
crime
seen
bill.
the ramifications through who?
Through society, through the statistics that continue to happen.
Okay, young man. Let me just take this over for a minute.
Oh, my
They've seen the
goodness.
ramifications through white people. See, when black people was doing
Oh, you mean like the opioid
was
crisis
locking
and
us
stuff?
up, like it wasn't no problem. White guys get hooked on drugs, start being habitual drug addicts. Oh, we got to
That's
send
a whole
them.
different
No,
story,
it's
though,
not.
because
I'm
when
just-
it was
I'm
black
just
people,
cutting in what
it
he
was the
talking
war
about.
on drugs.
That's why
and
they
it was
want
the
to
crime
change the
bill.
legislation
When it was
now.
white people, it's the opioid crisis.
Yeah, it's the opioid crisis. It gets
right,
the
so now it's a
educational name
crisis.
now. It gets the
That's a
educational
difference.
name. It's the opioid
That's a
crisis.
difference, though.
When it's crack, it's a black person.
So
your ass go to jail.
No,
It's
when it's
opioid
black people
when it's a
selling
white
drugs
person.
and making money, it's a problem. When it's white
And
people
white folks
hooked
don't
on
sell
drugs, then it
cocaine.
becomes a problem.
White folks don't sell cocaine.
White people be
No,
they use it.
heroin.
They do cocaine
They
more than
use
black
it and
folks.
they sell it. Okay, I'm
No, I'm
sorry.
just saying-
I didn't mean to
all
interrupt
I'm
you,
saying is
Isaiah.
the-
Please
It's
continue.
not the same
I'm not
thing.
continuing.
The
But Rhonda,
war
go
on-
ahead.
I'm
What's your
saying
point?
The war on drugs and the crime bill was geared towards the criminalization of the black and brown
Exactly,
community.
by Richard
the
Nixon, who
opioid
started it
crisis
under his administration.
was to help the white people who are addicted to drugs. That's a
Exactly.
different conversation. That's
No,
not
it's
even
not.
in the same conversation.
No, it's not. We go to jail. They go to rehab. You get a record. You can't get a job. You go to rehab, and your life is just hunky-dory. Bullshit.
Here's my question, though. Westside, please come back to the table. Will drop the mic and walk away from the table. So, but here's my question. Tanya, I'm coming to you in 1 second.
No, but that's a great point, though.
No, but here's my question, though. It has not mattered from President Obama, from the President George W. It has not mattered when it came to black men.
It never
When it comes
does.
to legislation, this is all I'm trying to get people to truly understand. And I want to bring us all back to the same space. We live in the United States of America. We also live in the state of Illinois. And each state has different rules
Right.
as it relates to people who are reintegrating back into the community, as it relates to criminals, the quote unquote, as it relates to all of this. The responsibility, one thing that the Orange One really made very prevalent is that the state in of itself has a responsibility. When you have people who has been in your state and in your city and have been sitting in those seats for the forever and ain't nothing changed, stop arguing with me. Don't call me and talk to me about nothing. Bruh, sis, have you been an alderman? Have you been a state representative? And the west side and the south side still look the same? Quit playing. Like we talking in circles. Tanya, how you doing? Welcome to the Kendall Moore Show.
Okay, are you able to hear me now?
You have absolutely.
Okay, so there's no static now. Okay, 2 points. One on approaches that politicians have, checkers, chess, or whatever. We have some people playing checkers. Obama played chess. You were mentioning this earlier in your broadcast today. I say that we as black folks should not be playing chess. And also COVID-45, by the way, played WWF wrestling. It was a whole nother game. We should be playing bid whist. That's a black folks game where we come from a totally different area that throws everybody off. With chess, you get somebody like Merrick Garland as a possible candidate because they're trying to. Obama was trying to prove that Republicans were racist or weren't going to go with what he wanted. If he did bid whist, he would have picked a black woman for a candidate for judge, and that would have thrown everybody off. And he probably would have gotten the judge in. That's that point. Second, for elections, we as voters are not voting for a date or a partner or a husband or wife or spouse. We are taxpayers paying money. We are employers. Therefore, as employers, we should be interviewing candidates, checking out their resumes, making sure that they've got good references, and making sure they have the qualifications. We pick the best qualified person, maybe not perfect, and then after that, we have to hold them accountable because we're the employers. And that's the way we should be doing it.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Tanya, thank you very much for that. All right, as we get ready to wrap up tonight's program, we're still waiting. We still have not gotten a confirmation. Netta, how long do you think it's going to take?
11 days.
11 days. No, I'm kidding. What's that? How long do you think it's going to take?
I don't put a number on stuff like this because this could go all the way to January. It could go longer.
Well, we
know realistically it shouldn't, but honestly, because I do this game all the time, it could go as long as people will allow him to take it. If he go to the right judges, it can go a long time, man. The last thing with Gore and Bush went 34 days.
But I told you
this
about
could
that
go
whole
68
piece, though, with them.
Okay, so let's keep it real. This could go 68, and he's nowhere near his ego is nowhere near his discipline as George W. Bush's was. He is officially the worst president in the United States.
Are we going to be in a better position because we have a Democratic president now?
Only if we hold him accountable.
Yes. And we
gotta
I
keep
agree.
pushing.
We gotta hold him accountable. We gotta
keep
put his
pushing.
butt under the fire, put his ass under the fire.
Will we give a pass? Will we give a
He
pass
shouldn't
to
get no pass.
Kamala?
Especially no.
No, she don't get no pass, and Joe don't get no pass.
No,
you hear the
Well, all of the work that
Correct or wrong.
Stacey Abrams has
Oh
done
my God,
out
bless her
in
heart.
Atlanta.
I'm so glad you mentioned her
And
name.
she need to be in the cabinet. She need to be in the cabinet.
Oh, she absolutely will be in the cabinet.
Okay,
As
she
a matter
need
of
to be
fact,
under
she should have been.
economic development or something like
in my
that.
humble opinion, she should have been the vice president. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah, she needs to get economic development. She needs to
She
get
completely flipped.
Right.
Georgia. She really did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I agree. And Georgia, I think, is the most economically developed state for black people. And that's where she's from. And
Well, not
that's where
Georgia, but Atlanta, and like
And
it's
well,
surrounding.
but
it's
Georgia's
surrounding.
the state.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is she should definitely get a room in that cabinet. She should get a spot in that cabinet. It should be something big. She should not have something small. She delivered Georgia. Black people keep saving everybody ass. We save everybody.
Black women.
Will,
women.
Will,
black
who's saving
men,
Chicago? Will,
Black women.
Chicago
who's saving?
blue.
Who's saving
Chicago
the west and
is
south?
safe.
Who's saving the south side and the west sides of Chicago?
I don't know.
Because we still got high unemployment in
I
both
agree.
areas.
I agree.
We still got the same aldermen. We still have the same state representatives, state senators. Who's saving Chicago? Because we still looking the same. Ain't nothing changing.
Well,
there nothing has changed in the last 30 years. Then that's my question. We talk about the top, but at the end of the day, how many jobs are people getting on the west side? What are we building on the south side?
They shrinking the west side.
What are we doing?
It's West Town.
You know,
now.
we like Strange.
West Town.
Strange. All right, last break. Kendall Moore Show. We're back in a moment.
He's the new kid on the block. He's got the weekends on lock. Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago.
You are adhering to what has been put forth, what regards to make sure that we are protecting ourselves. The other thing that I want to say before we get out of here is to make sure that we celebrate together. Make sure you're following me on the Kendall Moore Show live on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook. It's very simple. The Kendall Moore Show on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and all of the streaming platforms. I want to thank everybody who has been a part of tonight's program. Isaiah, what you doing this week, man?
This weekend, I'm just, you guys know one of my majors in college is television. So right now I'm just practicing.
Big shout, by the way, on the show. You doing your thing, them.
Just writing.
Look at you, boy. You're showing out.
Just writing some spec scripts. So you take a script from a show that's already existing, and you just create a new episode based off the existing universe and the characters, all that kind of stuff.
Can you put me in one of your shows?
I'll be working on that kind of stuff, of course.
My character.
Can you act?
Make me James Evans.
So I'm just working on some scripts this weekend.
All right. Let's go to you, Beretta. What you doing, baby?
I'll be continuing my furniture building in my zone, in my happy place. So that's going to be fun. I have a pretty dope opportunity coming up, so I'll just hone in my craft and giving you all something to look forward to. I'm excited about it. So stay tuned. I can't give you all the details, but just stay in tune.
Always appreciate you. Thank you very much for your contributions. We're looking very forward to like the next couple of weeks with this show.
Absolutely.
Because we've been like politics.
Yes.
And next week we're going to be talking about all type of stuff.
I can let my hair down.
Well, it's already let down. Anybody who's watching us live on Facebook, you already know. And thank you. Big shout to a lot of people who checks out the show. What's that with?
What up, man?
I want to say this to you, bruh. I love you. And I want you to know we here at WVON, and me specifically, I love you like a brother will.
Love you too, bro.
And I want you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I did not want to say earlier today is that Will's mom passed of COVID-19. And I did not want to start the show that way. COVID-19 is real. And I want everybody who's in my listening ear to adhere to the Illinois Department of Public Health, the Chicago Department of Public Health, your respected areas of public health. Wear a mask and protect yourself. Westside, I want to let you know I love you like a brother. And I'm sorry for your loss, you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see y'all next week. Will may not be here, but we'll see y'all next week. Until next time, Church and Tabernacle.
Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. What's new?